All right. Just bring over this. Do a little screen share. Make sure I get the screen share going today. How you doing, guys? Hopefully everybody's doing well for a Ruby Tuesday. It is February 9th. Hopefully everybody's having a good start to your day. And I'd like to welcome everybody who watches our live stream each and every day here from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern and 11 to noon on the weekends. 11 to 9, that'd be a long day, right? It's going to do a screen share right here. Make sure I got everything. So I'd like to welcome Damon. How you doing, Damon? Nenox and Adam. How you doing, Adam? Mike Jones in the house. How you doing, Mike? A little high five right there for Mike there. I like that. All right. So, all right, guys. So what we're going to do here each and every day is we talk about the Raymond report. And the Raymond report is basically try to incorporate a bit of the stock market analogy into the sports betting markets. And hopefully it gives you an angle. And as you all know, the Raymond report based on 3 key fundamentals of handicapping. Value. You got to have value in what you're buying. Number 2, the percentage play has got to be in your favor, not the book's favor. And number 3, cycles, performance cycles, right? We got to, handicap, and, this is where you got to look at situational handicapping, analytics, a little bit of lady luck too. And, if you sharpen up that dart, maybe that works for you too, right? All right, guys. So I'm going to go right into the, SBI. So every time we start to get a format here. So this way, what I like to do is go through a bit of the market conditions to see what has come in, see how our computer picks did the night before. This way, it shows you what, credibility of the Rain report, right? It's just, I don't sharpen darts. Everything is calculated, and I do my investments, and I do my homework, and hopefully we could bring you guys some winners. How you doing, Lee? Isaiah? Welcome, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody also for showing up here. And hey, you know what? Maybe we can start this being a trend. And again, NBA, NHL right now. Yesterday, somebody mentioned the NBA futures. So I went out and I dug up some of the prices that I like in the Western Conference and Eastern Conference. The Western Conference is 2 teams. I think there's values in 2 teams, and I'll get to that. But I think I got a nice long shot in the Eastern Conference. To me, the Eastern Conference NBA is wide open, and we'll get to that in just a second. All right, let me take this out of the way here. Okay, good. So can you guys hear me okay? I just want to make sure that the sound, when you're in a room and you just, you don't know if everybody can hear you, but hopefully everybody can hear me. Good morning, Chad, or good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hey, turn out the lights on the way out. And just want to make sure we welcome everybody here to the Rain Report. And looking at the NBA last night, we'll do the NHL in just a second. So let's take a look at the NBA so far. Last night, NBA 6-2, so we had 8 games. The favorites went 6-2, and against the point spread. Okay, thanks, Chad. Thanks, Nenox. 4-4 against the point spread. So yesterday, the a little bit of the what was on the night before was the favorites, and then the underdogs. The underdogs had a nice run, but maybe we have a little bit of reversal coming here, right? And this is what I like to see: a lot of yellow right here, and I'll get to that in just a second. I want to show you guys something on ATS standings, and okay. How you doing, guys? Okay, thanks for letting me know so you guys can hear me. That's good. Looking at the over-unders right now. So yesterday, 5-3 to the over. So let's take a look on the week here. 5-1 on the February 2nd, 6-4 to the over on the 3rd. The under came in on the 4th, 7-2. Look at this, 2 days here on the 5th and 6th, 14-6 to the over. Then we had a bit of a reversal on the next day. Couldn't keep that 3-day run going. Then we had a little under run right there, but then back to the overs, right? And look at the overs on the year, 53.2% on the year, but on a 7-day average, 58.3. So, if you've been following baseball this year, the overs were coming in at a high clip, especially at the beginning of the year. Me and Ross were really talking about that at the beginning of the year, but take a look at all the over-unders, the point spread in the last 7 days. This is what I like to see. This way, there's no advantage between you and the bookmaker. It's all hands on deck, fire away, and you can see it's really even, right? But NHL is another that's a different animal altogether, right? I felt Violet losing the Rockets over last night. The Rockets over, yeah. We talked about that yesterday, right, Damon? Was it Damon here or Nenox, or I forget? Without John Wall in the lineup, they had a lot of guys that were not in the lineup. Yeah, so I felt, yeah, that was a tough one. But you know what? The Rockets are right back at it today. I think they're playing again. I think it's the same. Actually, yeah, Houston, New Orleans. So we'll get to that in a second. Looking at the NHL yesterday, guys. Check this out: 72.3. Like, we're not stopping here with favorites in NHL. 3-3 last night. 3-2 the night before. 3-3 to the over/unders. Puck line. Now, remember, somebody was asking me, "Do you play the puck line?" Be careful with the puck line. Normally, it works in our favor, but not lately. Look at this: 1-5. Oh, that's the under. Sorry, puck line's over here. 1-5 to the under last night. So after a big run of overs here, now look at and this is why I keep preaching, guys, the law of average. If you're a weekend warrior handicapper and you just bet games on weekends, then you got to be in tune to what's going on in the market, right? If you're just checking the boards every 5 days, then you're not doing your homework. But look at this: we had a great run on the over, and now look at the under, right? A big run on the under right here. So that's interesting. The last night, 5-1 to the under. So let me just catch up to the questions here. I had both dog winners. A loss with the Rockets. Just netted $10 last. Hey, you know what, Lee? $10 is $10, man. I'd rather you net $10 than lose $10, right? I'm on them today, +5 along with the Nets. Wasn't me mostly here for the hockey, but getting into the basketball. Yeah, you know what? The hockey and basketball, we do it all here, right? Not taking the Rockets today. Don't like the spot. But here's the thing, Isaiah. They got their guy. It looks like John Wall is going to be in the lineup today. So, we'll get to that in a second. But back to the NHL. Again, look at the favorites, right? Just absolutely crushing it. 65.9%. 3-3 yesterday. Our first even day. But we'll get to the NHL today. All right, let's go to the streaks. Just give me a second here, guys. Yeah. Pretty dry in here today. Got to blow the old schnauzer. All right, now you can breathe again. All right, here we go. What do we got here? Okay, so streaks, right? We should have Will Ferrell in old school streaking across this segment here, right? I feel like when we talk about the streak. Sacramento, Buddy Buckets and company. Look at this. I think they're playing tonight. Sacramento, I thought I saw them playing tonight. Yeah, against the Sixers. Now, they've won 8 in a row against the point spread. 8 in a row. Milwaukee, 5 ATS wins. I feel like Milwaukee's starting to flex their muscle right now. I think the Bucks are just getting started. They're just getting started, right? They lost Bledsoe in the offseason. That's a big piece. But Middleton's still playing well. So is Giannis. But DeCenzo, I think his last name is. He was firing on all cylinders last night. So Utah, 4 ATS. Utah sneaky good, but I just don't trust them in the playoffs. Cleveland, 7 ATS losses. Since they got the big trade from Brooklyn, I don't think that it's going as if they planned it out to be, right? Detroit, 4 ATS loss, but they're coming off the Western road swing, so they're back at home tonight, I think, or is it? Let me see here. Detroit, yeah, back at home against Brooklyn. Memphis took it on the chin last night to the Raptors. Hopefully you guys had the Raptors. Oh no, I'm broke with the Rockets. That's funny. I told you New York to win. Yeah, you know what? Good call, Chad. Here's the thing. You got me in New York and I had Columbus. So, hey, the law of average. It's law of averages everywhere. Milwaukee, 5 straight up wins. Lakers, 5 straight up wins. Cleveland, we talked about that. Over. I got a great thing here to show you guys on the Brooklyn Nets. So this is what you see here, guys, and it's called the Smart Database here at ATS Stats. What I like to do periodically is go and look to see what's come in the last 30 days. In football, I feel the football really gets going after the Thanksgiving, right? After the Thanksgiving Day holiday, the the holiday in the States and at the end of November. That's when I feel like the real teams. Look at Tampa Bay. They got waxed there that won the Sunday night against Tampa Bay. New Orleans. And then, from that loss, they just took off, right? So I've went back. I like to do this once in a while. Go back 30 days to see where the hot hand is lying right now. Let's take a look at the NBA. In the last 30 days, check this out. Brooklyn Nets, 14-1 to the over. That I almost fell off my chair when I read that this morning. 14-1 to the over, 6-9 against the point spread. New York, 6-10 straight up, 7-9. 5-11. So I'll only bring up the things that really stand out because I don't want to spend all day just going through the Sixers. 10. Now Philadelphia is on a pretty good run here, not ATS, but straight up 10-5 straight up, 10-5 to the over-unders. So a lot of overs here. Raptors, nothing to really talk about. Chicago's been disappointing lately. I had them last night. When I saw that line move, I really thought when it went from 2 to 4.5, I thought, you know what? This is like money in the bank, and it was either a trap or they pooped the bed, right? Cleveland, look at Cleveland, the Cavaliers, 4-12 against the point spread. And when did they do that trade? Maybe that's last 30 days ago. Detroit just Detroit's going back to last year. Indiana, 11-5 to the over for Indiana. Take a look at Milwaukee. I feel Milwaukee's starting to roll here. The Bucks. 11-4 straight up, 9-6 against the point spread, 11-4 to the over. So, we talked about that yesterday. Remember we talked about Milwaukee starting to play a lot of overs on the season? Well, sure enough, another over last night. Hopefully you guys cashed that. Atlanta. Now, if Atlanta can stay healthy, I got a feeling you don't want to sleep on these guys. They just need to get healthy. But the whole Eastern Conference to me is wide open. 5-10 to the under. That surprised me a little bit. 5-10 to the under in the last 30 days. Miami, 6-10 straight up. Orlando, 3-12. Ever since Phelps went down, that team just went, hell in the handcart. Washington, 4-8. Denver, 9-6, pretty average. Minnesota, 4-12, 8-7-1. Portland, 8-6, still a winning record, but could do better. Oklahoma, 10-5 to the over. Utah Jazz, 14-1 straight up and against the spread. How amazing is that? So the Bucks just need to quit being lazy. Yeah, you know what? Good point. Golden State. Golden State, I thought they were going to start heating up, and then they lost last night. I think they lost. Clippers, 11-4. Took it on the chin Sunday, but I don't think Paul George played. Lakers, 12-3. Lakers, right? They're always going to be up there. Sacramento playing well. Sacramento 8-6, but 9-5 against the point spread. Somebody mentioned that the other day. Remember that somebody said in the chat, which team is hot, which team is under the radar. Sacramento right now is a team you want to be betting on. All they do is they just cover. Dallas, Dallas for all the talent, they just can't put it together. Houston 8-8, 4-12. Look at this, Houston. I was going to say the Astros there. Baseball season's coming. Houston Rockets, 4-12 to the under. Look at that in the last 12 games. 6-4 for Memphis. 11-2 for the Pelicans. 11-2 to the over. And let me see, San Antonio, 8-8. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, guys. Sometimes it's always good to, just check out what's going on in the last 30 days in sports. See what team. Sometimes you find the Nuggets that fly under the radar, right? Like, who knew Brooklyn was on a 14-1 run to the under? Who knew Houston 5-12 to the under, or 4-12 or whatever it was? So those are things that you want to keep an eye out. All right, let's go to the questions here. Wizards, nice money line. We'll get to that there. Plant base, 4-2 in hockey picks last night. Dallas has glaring holes. Yeah, after Luka and Richardson. Let me see there. The Dallas. Who was it? Richardson and there's another one there. Hardaway Jr. I gotta. If those two guys are going, the Mavs are going, right? All right, let's go back here. Okay, so every day on the Raymond Report, we give out the computer picks, and let's take a look at how the computer did yesterday for NBA and the NHL. So not a bad day yesterday for the computer. It went 5-3 against the point spread. So if you look at yesterday, the computer pick Had Houston winning, but Charlotte covering. Washington, Minnesota, Memphis. Memphis, they got smoked by the Raptors. Dallas won, but 127, 122. If you're only beating Minnesota by 5, you're in trouble, right? Golden State, 105, 100. That was a close game. Went under the total. Phoenix took care of business, 119 to 113. Line must have closed at 5 because I thought we saw -6 yesterday, right? When we did the rain report, I thought I saw. Let me see here. Phoenix, -7.5. So the line went down to 5.5, right? Milwaukee, like I said, they flexed their muscles, and Lakers won, but they didn't cover. So let's take a look at the teams that won and covered. Golden State, Dallas won, but they didn't cover. Toronto won. Memphis was favored in that game. Or no, Toronto 128 to 113. So right here, well, we had 114. So we had Toronto winning straight up, but we had Memphis covering. So that's why. Okay. Let's take a look at the NHL. NHL wasn't a bad day. I think it was 4-2, but we didn't do good in the unders. Let's go back to the there we go. February 8th. So yesterday we had Edmonton Islanders. Really thought the Rangers were the play there, but the Islanders played well. Carolina, Columbus. I had Columbus in that one. Toronto, Tampa Bay, St. Louis. Arizona scored 1 second to tie it up. That was a tough. That's a bad beat right there, right? All right, on the year, the last 100 plays for the computer pick, we're hitting 57% straight up, 47 against the spread, 59 to the over-unders. So the over-unders are doing well. The chance of covering 52.5, and the Kogo not too well at 46%. And when you look at the NHL, we're doing good in the NHL, guys. 62% straight up with our NHL selection, 65 on the puck line, only 48% though with the over-under. So the over-under's not having a great 100 block right now. And chance of winning 47% and 56 on the Kogo. So we can't have it all, right? You're right of the Blue Jackets going under. Yeah, you know what? The Blue Jackets, I just felt they lost the game before, and I thought that was their game. The zigzag theory type thing, right? All right, let's take a look at the games on deck here today, guys. And let me just close this Zoom. All right, take a look at the first game on deck. We got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Pistons, and I'm just going to take out my paper here. Now, here's the thing with the Pistons. Okay, they're off they're off a 4-game road trip. I think they were out west for, was it 4 games? 1, 2, 3, 4 games. They played the Warriors, the Jazz, the Suns, and the Lakers, and they didn't have any luck out there, right? 0-4 on that road trip. Now they go into tonight's game against the Brooklyn Nets as a 6.5 point home dog. The over-under is set at 229. Forecast is a high-scoring game here. 137 to 121. The over-under at 258. That's like an all-star game, right? Appreciate that, plant base. And looking at the Pistons, 2-8 straight up in their last 10 games, 3-7 against the point spread. So you can see the Pistons have not been a bettor's best friend in their last. But look at the Brooklyn Nets here, 3-7, 9-1. We just talked about it on the last 30 days, 14-1 to the over. Now, my thing is this: if we know this, the bookmaker must know this. So it's just 229 is the total. Wow. What's the Kogo? Kogo's at 25%. Looking at the value index on this game. And wow, there we go again. It's a little, every time I do these shows, I'm having trouble with the, let me have to reset here. Let me do NBA. Hopefully we can get the value index to come up here. Crap. All right. I'm going to have to do a quick, let me just go into my settings right here, guys. I thought I had it all set up. Just give me a second, guys. Set NBA. Let me see if I just go straight to the... Anyway, before that goes, I'll just keep talking here. Chance of winning does favor Brooklyn tonight at 55.5% compared to 21.4% for the Pistons. The chance of covering does like Detroit here tonight at 77%. The Kogo at 25%. So a 75% chance of this game going under the total. And when games are going over like the Brooklyn Nets in the last 30 days, eventually there has to be a reversal, right? Eventually that has to start flipping the other side. And I'm just going to reset this here. Hopefully this works. The super stats. Just bear with me, guys, for 1 second here. Get the forecast going. Let me see if I do the quick stats. All right. So Brooklyn Nets on the road against a C-type team. So a team below 500 in the standings. They're only 2-4 straight up, 2-4 against the number, and 5-1 to the over. So that's what happens with the good teams, right? They tend to play down to their opponents, especially on the road. Looking at this one here, though, I think the over. It's hard not to go against the over. What do you guys like in this one? Let me check here. All right, Nets to win and cover. Yeah, you like the Nets, Chad? I hit 5 out of 7 yesterday. Nashville and Golden State. That was a tough loss. Technology love, yeah, it's a love-hate relationship, right, Chad? Technology love for sure. All right, let me see if this worked out here. No, I'm gonna have to do a run all crons here. All right. While this is going, you know what? While this is resetting, here's I took down the futures bet. So somebody talked about yesterday about the who do I like in the Western Conference, Eastern Conference for the NBA Finals, right? Right now, to me, it's a 2-horse race in the Western Conference. To me, there's only the Lakers and the Clippers. That's the two where if I'm going to put my money on anybody, it's the Lakers are plus 195 at bookmaker, and they're plus 590 for the Clippers. I just, Utah plays, they're believe it or not, in first place right now ahead of the Lakers and Clippers. I just don't know if I can trust Utah. They don't have a lot of playoff experience. Rudy Gobert, even though he's a great defensive player, Mitchell, I just don't know if you can trust. In a 4-game series, this reminds me of baseball when the Atlanta Braves in the regular season would just clear in the 90s. The Braves would just clean everybody in 2000s and then get to the playoffs and then nowhere to be found. So I think looking at the Western Conference, I'm gonna lean towards the Lakers at plus 195 and then the Clippers at plus 590. Now in the Eastern Conference, I got 4 teams. I think the Eastern Conference is wide open. I'll talk about 3 teams, and I'll give you my outside long shot that I think if you bet this team, there's a great hedging opportunity when they go into the rounds, right? All right, so Sixers plus 1,000. I think that's a pretty good wager because if they get past first round, then you can start hedging some of that money. Milwaukee Bucks plus 685. That's you let that ride till like the final round or the semis or the conference finals, and then the Brooklyn Nets plus 950, right? So Philadelphia plus 1,000, Milwaukee Bucks plus 685, and then the Brooklyn Nets 950. Now my long shot here, guys. Now stay with me here. Don't all leave all at once here when I tell you guys this. I think the Atlanta Hawks at plus $11,500. Could be a nice long shot, not to win the NBA Finals, but they got shooters. If they can just stay healthy, I think at 11,500. If Atlanta gets into the playoffs and they can get out of the first 2 rounds, you got yourself a great hedging opportunity. So Atlanta Hawks plus 11,500 at bookmaker, I think would be a great long shot here. No, I don't. I won't say Charlotte. I won't do that to you there, Damon. But I think Atlanta, a ton of value on Atlanta, Isaiah, and I agree 100%. But it's a long shot, right? Because they're going to have to get through the Sixers, Bucks, Nets. Boston, you know what? As much as if you would asked me about a month ago, the Boston Celtics, I'd be all over it. But now I'm seeing holes in the chinks in the armors, right? Don't like what I'm seeing right now. Pacers, I just don't think they're physical enough. But I think Atlanta, guys, taking the Atlanta Hawks could be worth some value there. All right, back to this one between Brooklyn and the Detroit Pistons. Let me take a look at the line moves on this game. I think the over is the play here tonight, guys. Now this line opened up at 232. It's down to 229, so it's coming down. See, the bookmakers opened up at what, 232, I said? And look at the line now. It's down to 229. I'm just going to take a quick peek on some of the, 229. So the money's coming in on the under, but I think the over is still to play. And if I were to play the side on this one here tonight, guys, how do you not like Brooklyn, right? Well, 7.5, it's down to 6.5. Whew. That's, Detroit. I just don't know. We'll see the lineup here for Detroit tonight. DeLon Wright is still a game time decision. Ellington, the game time. Grant, Blake Griffin, and Plumlee to start. And looking for the Brooklyn Nets, just Kyrie's only a game time decision. There's no Durant tonight. I don't know. When I look at Detroit, do you remember that game? It was about 3 weeks ago. They played Phoenix, and Phoenix took off to a big 18-point lead. And then the Pistons I think they won that game. I don't think they can do that against Brooklyn, but Brooklyn tends to play down to their opponents, right? So they got a C-type team that's in a bear situation, coming off a long road trip, coming off a loss to the Lakers. You know what? It might be a good spot for the Pistons. Come to think of it, off a long road trip, coming off a loss to the Lakers, where they covered the spread. They only lost to the Lakers by 6. You know what? Maybe the Pistons are a good, but man, look at this. I got some stats here that I got some stats that can talk you into a game or talk you off a game off the ledge real quick. So any NBA road team this year that are 6.5 to 9 point road favorite, 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the point spread, 3-1 to the over. And for the real home team, anytime a home team's on 2 days rest, 6.5 to 9 point home dog, 1-3 straight up, but not a lot of volume. I normally like to get about 10 games before I take it serious. But you know what, guys? I think Detroit and the over. Now that I look at the Pistons coming off a Lakers loss and Brooklyn coming off a loss to the City, so Brooklyn's going to be in a bad mood here too tonight. What do you guys think? What do you guys like? You like the over? Kemba's a bum. Boston has no depth. Yeah, Kemba. You know what? Kemba Walker in the bubble last year. Man, where was he? He just either he had a really injury that he hit an injury, or he just couldn't keep up. I put plus 9.5 Pistons. Is that good? If you got 9.5 on the Pistons, that's pretty good. Let me see here. Where do you get 9.5 though? Let me see here. I got 6 and opened up around 8. Yeah, if you got him early, you did very well there. Who was that? Who got 9.5 here? Sam. Is that Sam from Switzerland there? Yeah, if you got 9.5, you did pretty good. Must be an Intertop. There's the big Ragu. How you doing, Ragu? Love it, Raymond. Right on. Live bet, Pistons backdoor cover. Yeah, you know what? If I were to play this game, I wouldn't put a lot of money on it. Probably, beer money or coffee money or pizza money on it, but that's where I'd probably lean. All right, let's go to New York against, let me see if I can just do a quick scan on my stats here, try to get this working. Let me see here, the value index. Oh, there we go. We're back. Awesome. Okay, so we got it back here. The New York Knicks taking on the Miami Heat. Now, the Heat going into this one, a 6-point home favorite, over-under at 208. Let me take a look at the current line on this game. I'm seeing 6 and 209. So, okay, forecast likes Miami here, 105 to 99, so exactly on 6. Now, the Knicks in their last 10 games, they're 4-6 straight up, 5-5 against the number, 3-7 to the under. So the Knicks have been playing a lot of unders of late. And looking at the Heat, 3-7 straight up and against the number. Now, Jimmy Butler's back, and that's, obviously that's an understatement saying that's huge. But let me see what he did in his last game. The Butler did it. So last game, actually, you know what? He's not back. I'm taking a look at his log right now. He hasn't played. The last time I'm seeing Butler played was January 9th. So hopefully, unless he played the other day, let me see here. Let me check Jimmy Butler. I'm checking my reference here. Let's go to the daily. Let's see here. January the 21st. All right. Where's Jimmy? Jimmy Butler. Okay, here we go. All right. So last time he played, he played the last 3 games. So, okay, RotoWire, update your stats there. So last game, the 7th, Jimmy Butler played 34 minutes. And how many points did he have here? Where can I read the points? Points. There, 17 points. He had 17 points, 14, 19. So he's still below average, right? What's his average on the season? Jimmy Butler, what are you averaging? Averaging per game, 24 points per game. So he's below average right now. So we need Jimmy to pick it up here for the Miami Heat to play better. Miami on the season now, they're on a 2-game win streak, and that's because Butler's back, right? So it makes a world of a difference. 6-7 straight up at home, 4-8-1, 6-7-0 to the under. And for the New York Knicks on the road, 6-8 straight up, 7-7, 4-10 to the under. In fact, let me go back to that Detroit game real quick. I want to see something on the home and road record for both teams. Look at Brooklyn on the road, 4-6 straight up, 3-7 against the number, 8-2 to the over. Man, just going back to that Brooklyn game, guys. Look at that. How can you not play Detroit in the over? 3-7, and then Detroit 7-4 at home. So Detroit, Jekyll and Hyde on the road, but they play well at home. I just wanted to show you guys that. All right, let's get back to Miami and New York. Bet MGM went up to under 209. I'm just not worried the Heat could get any right. But I'm just worried the Heat could get it right any day. Yeah. They got to turn it on sometime, right? Like, remember I keep talking to you guys about the, performance cycles, and I just feel that the Heat have not had a really good cycle this season yet. Let's take a look at their last 10 games. They are 3-7, averaging 103 points for, 107 against. And as a home favorite this year, going into this one, a home favorite, 5-5 on the year. And for the New York Knicks, you know what? The Knicks 6-7 on the road, 7-7 against the point spread, 4-10. They're coming off a 103. So this is the back of a doubleheader here, right? So they played the game before. So this is the second leg of a doubleheader, and the Heat won this one. New York Knicks on the road against another team below 500, 1-4 straight up, 1-4 against the number. And you know what? Looking at this game, I think I'm leaning towards the under here, guys. But the Kogo is at 73%, so we can't get everything going our way, right? Can't get all the indicators. What do you guys like? I'm a huge Knicks fan, but they lost at MSG. Will they lose in Miami? Well, let's take a look at their track record here of late. New York coming off a loss to the Heat. Then they won that Saturday afternoon game against the Trailblazers. I think Damian Lillard was injured that game. If you watch that game, he was on the sidelines, and they had one of those massagers there. There's his hip. There must be something wrong with his hip because he was I thought he was laboring that day. Knicks 107, 103. The Bulls aren't playing really good right now. So what's their strength of schedule? So one thing we have here in the Raymond report, in the last 7 games, a team could be 6-1 or 7-0 against a team, but who have they played, right? You got to consider the facts. Just the facts, right? Like that old 70s show, just the facts, ma'am. But 42.86 is the strength of schedule for the Knicks. So they're not playing the road warriors right here. And for the Miami Heat, they're battle tested, 55.1% of the teams in their last 7 games. So they played the Knicks, the Wizards, the Hornets, the Kings, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. So it was front-end loaded in the 7. So you got the Nuggets, Clippers, and Kings. So this was front-end loaded in the last 7 games. But you know what? Going to this one, I think I like the under in this one here tonight, guys, between the Knicks and the Miami Heat. However, the Kogo is at 73%. So instead of like a confidence level of 7, it's probably going to be around 6 or 5. Looking at the last 4 games for the New York Knicks to the under. And for Miami, they're on a 2-game ATS and straight-up win. Now, this total opened up at 208. It shot down to 207 at its lowest peak, and it's back to 208. I do like the under here. Let me see what Big Ragu gave me 100% right there. BetMGM. Perks of living in Vegas. Nice. I'm in PA, but no DFS. I'm a huge Miami Heat. I like it better. The Knicks are finally back being the Knicks. Yeah, you know what? RJ Barrett, a Toronto guy. I always cheer for the Canadian guys. Over no defense. Watch what they trade in the buckets. Now, is Derrick Rose coming to New York? That's the question, right? Is Derrick Rose going to be on his way to New York? All right. Before we get off this one, let me just take a look here who they got on deck. So Miami's got Houston on deck at Houston, and New York's got Washington. We always got to look at the look-ahead situations, right? And let me take a look, see if there's any. See, a lot of indicators pointing towards the under here. But it's all team stat. I like system trend. So anytime I look at this column here in the there's 2 columns, and when you see check marks, the left columns for the team, the right ones for the league system. Like instead of like when the Knicks are in this spot or when every team's in this spot, I prefer the league system when it comes to these things. The New York Knicks on the road when they allowed 109 points against, 8-1 to the 5-14 to the under. So that's an interesting stat right there. Let me see anything else here. 10-4. So New York in the last 14 trips, last 3 years, 10-4 to the under. I like the under tonight, guys. Give me the under tonight, the Knicks and the Miami Heat. All right, let's go to the next game, Houston. Now, Houston, this is one of my premium pick plays tonight, guys. I like the total in this game. Any questions before we move on here, guys? All right, let's take a look at Houston against the Pelicans. Now, New Orleans entered this game, 5.5-point road favorite, over-under at 226. Forecast going to lean with the Pelicans here, 114-111, over-under at 226.39. And looking at the last 10 games for the Rockets, 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the number, 3-7 to the under. Now, the Rockets have played a lot of unders here, 7-15 to the under and 1. 7-15-1 to the under this season, guys. It's it's almost a reversal of Utah and Milwaukee, or is it Denver? Denver plays a lot over, and so does Milwaukee, right? Looking at the Pelicans, 9 of their last 10 games have gone over the total. The value index on tonight's game, we had New Orleans. Now, you hear me say this all the time, right? I don't like the Pelicans as a favorite. I don't think they're they're trustworthy as a give them the keys to the car to not to crash it, right? But I'll give them credit. They've been playing well lately. 3 straight up wins, 3 ATS wins. When they're at home against a team below 500, though, 2-4 straight up, 2-4 against the number, but 5-1, 5-1 to the over. I agree, Isaiah. I'm the same way. Pelicans been good lately. Yeah, you know what? I just said that right here. 3 straight up wins, ATS. I agree with you, Ninox. Houston to cover. Now, looking at the lineup tonight for let me see here. Let me see. Houston, John Wall looks like he's going to play tonight. Now, Wall's in, Oladipo's out, so he's on rest. There's no Christian Woods, unfortunately. He's ankle injury. DeMarcus Cousins, PJ Tucker, Jayshawn Tate, Eric Gordon, and Wall. So it looks like Houston's got a good lineup here tonight, guys. Be careful if you do like New Orleans. I think you're getting the Rockets in a nasty mood coming off a loss last night to the Hornets. Man, you lose to the Charlotte Hornets, you're going to be in a nasty mood, right? Especially when you get spanked 119-94. And then you got the Pelicans coming off a win over the Grizzlies in their last game. They're on 2 days rest. And NBA teams this year, guys, on 0 days rest, and they're 3.5 to 6 point dog, 8-4 against the number. I do like Houston, but I like the over in this game. I do like the over in this game tonight, guys. All right. Any questions? Rockets' third game in 4 nights. Yeah, you know what? And that's the schedule, right? A lot of teams playing a lot of games right now. So you make a great point. So they played the Spurs. They lost 111-106. They played the Hornets 119-94. Third time's a charm, right? So let's see if they get it. But I think there's more value in the total. And yeah, no Oladipo here tonight on a slight delay. Is a revenge spot for Pelicans? Okay, so they played January 30th, and the Rockets won 126-112. Yeah, you know what? It could be a revenge spot. But I don't think it's going to be on the. It'd be a more of a revenge spot if there was like an impact trade, like if one of their top players was on there, or somebody they really dislike, right? But I don't think there's enough history between these two teams to get to use that angle. That's just my opinion, anyways. Take a look at the stats down here. All right, let me see here. 11-9, 25. 9-2 to the over. 10-5 to the over. So the Pelicans at home against a team with a 41 to 50% win percentage. 2-4 against the number. 2-4 to the under. But again, I'm looking for volumes of 10, right? I wish there was more volume. 3-2 to the over. But again, I like Houston and the over. Steven Adams, Zion are too big down low. You know what? I'll take Steven Adams any day. I think I think the Raptors could use him right now. What do you think about Golden State Warriors? What do you think about the Golden State Warriors against the Spurs? Yeah, well, let's get to that one right now. So, any more questions on this one? If you have it, just post it, and we'll get to that. So, Golden State and the let's take a look at this one here. The Warriors and the Spurs. Now, they played last night, right? It was a 105-100 win for the Spurs. Now, going into tonight's game, the Spurs are now man, this line's been flipping all morning. Let's take a look at the line movement on this game. I thought I saw San Antonio favored this morning. So let me see here. So yeah, so it was open up at 1. It went to 1.5 for the Spurs, and then it flipped right here mid-afternoon at 12:50. It flipped to the. Here's the thing. Now, here's my years of experience with this. Anytime you got a bookmaker that opened up a team at -1, and the public bet it the other side, so the public forced the bookmaker's hand to balance it out. So now the public brought it to Golden State 1. You put more stock into the bookmaker's line at -1, or do you believe the public at -1 for Golden State, right? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, guys. All right. So if you guys have any opinions on this game, just post them in the chat, and then we'll read them on air right here. All right. So looking at this one now, the computer does like, oh, look at this. 110.54, 110.88. And I think yesterday, what did we have yesterday? Yesterday on the forecast, we had, let me see here, 107, 109 for the Spurs. That to me sounds like what we're looking at again here tonight. I do like the total in this game. I do like the total. Now, the accumulated total is 221.4. The number's at 215. I'm just going to double check right here with my source. Actually, you know what? Golden State 230. So this here is off again. I'm always getting 215. I'll have to talk to my line feed guy. So 215, the line's 230. So the line is 230. That is a very high number. I like the under here tonight, guys. I do like the under. Looking at the last 10 games for San Antonio, 6-4 straight up, 5-5 against the number. And then looking at the point spread, the over-under, 6-4, almost identical. It's the same thing as yesterday, right? I feel like I just take yesterday's take and we can just give it on today. -0.1. So basically a pick 'em again. There's value on both these teams. The chance of winning does favor Golden State tonight, 71% compared to 50 for the Spurs. 42% chance of covering on the Rain Report law of average theory, and the Kogo is at 58%. But the Spurs' last 3 games have gone under the total. And for the Golden State Warriors, when they're on the road against a B-type team, 0-2 straight up. They haven't beaten a team that's just like them, like 50% in the standings. And San Antonio, 1-4. So that one was yesterday, right? Now, the Spurs at home this year, 7-7 straight up and against the number, 7-7 to the over-under. And then Golden State, 4-7 straight up and against the spread on the road, coming off that loss last night. And they got Orlando on deck, and San Antonio's traveling to Atlanta in their next game. I'm sticking with the under. I think the under is the call here tonight, guys. Let me see if there's anything here. Look at this. Any team that's on the road coming off a game where they allowed 105 points against, 1-9 to the under. So interesting stat. Any team that's a home team coming off 3 unders this year in the NBA, 11-4-1 to the under. So they tend to play continuous defense. And let's take a look at the last 3 games. So the Spurs playing some good defense in the last 3, right? And I thought I saw, I printed down some stats for you guys here today. Offense and defense, right? The best defense. So I'm going to, let me see here. I thought the Spurs were here, but maybe not. They're top 7. Defensive rebounding teams. The top 7 rebounding teams. The Jazz, number 1, obviously. The Bucks, number 2. Thunder, number 3. Brooklyn Nets, surprisingly, number 4. The Knicks, number 5. Lakers, 6. And the Spurs, 7. Spurs are the 7th best rebounding team. And field goal percentage-wise, the top field goal percentage teams, Nets, Bucks, Lakers, Clippers, and Sixers. Where's the Spurs? The Spurs are ranked 21st, and Golden State Warriors ranked 15th. But looking at the defense in the last 3 games, San Antonio is really concentrating on defense. Look at this, averaging 104 points against, where the Golden State's given up. But they played Dallas, right? And now they're playing San Antonio. But Dallas, that hurt them. Their average in the last 3. But I do like the under here tonight, guys. Doesn't pay as good as online. Sports Select in Canada. Proline, yeah. Proline is our Canadian lottery system. But I'm hoping, there's a bill in the Parliament. Hopefully they can pass it through where people in Canada can bet on single events. Bookmakers probably to me is the best sports book out there. That's I like that insight. Okay, you're welcome. All right, Sam, have a good day, buddy. All right, so I like the under in this one, guys. Golden State and San Antonio. Philadelphia, Sacramento, Buddy Buckets. The Kings are on a great ATS streak right now, and they're coming off a big win Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday against the LA Clippers. This is as much as I love San Antonio tonight, Sacramento, I think they're in a really, really tough spot. Coming off an emotional road win at the Staples Center, 113-110, and now they got to play the Sixers. The Sixers beat the Nets in their last game. That was a while ago. In fact, how many days rest have they been on now? 2 days rest. Okay, I thought it was longer than that. Looking at tonight's line, just going to double check with my source here. -5 and 230.5. So -5. See, again, 215. We've got to fix that. So 230 is the total we're getting. I got 112, 107 favoring the Sixers. Philadelphia playing some good basketball. Say 8-2 straight up, 7-3 against the number, 8-2 to the over. And the Sacramento Kings, 7-3 straight up, 8-2 against the number, 5-5 to the over-under. Now, from a value perspective, if you do like Sacramento, guys, you're getting great value. We had them listed at 4.3. You're getting 5.5. So you're getting good value. And looking at the Sixers, a bit overvalued here. I had them at -3.76, and you're laying 5.5. So they are a bit overvalued, and it could be a letdown spot. Yeah, I agree 100%, Isaiah. The winning streak, buckets to cover, but they won't win. I don't know. Mama's a little, what's that? Mama's a little whoa. Hey, Ron, I'm back. Hey, Jerome, how you doing, buddy? The defense will help. You know what? Now, let me take a look at this lineup for the Sixers tonight. Hopefully, Embiid's back is feeling better. So you got Ben Simmons, Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is streaky, eh? Some days he's just so on, and some days he's ice cold. Joel Embiid, and then Fox, Buddy Hield, Barnes, Bagley, and Holmes. It's going to be a great game. You know what? Good. I'm glad it's at 10 and not 10:30, right? When you're on the East Coast, that half hour really helps. The only thing I'm really concerned about, guys, and you know my rule, right? I don't mess with streaks. You keep riding the streak, just like, picture this. Remember when Utah went on an 11-game straight up an ATS streak, and then they lost to Denver? This is where you start, how greedy do you want to get with a team when you're backing them up, right? They're on 4 straight up wins, 8 ATS wins. Could they keep that going? Now, when they're at home against an A-type team, so an alpha-type team that's 60% or higher in the standings, they are 2-2 straight up, 2-2 against the number, 3-1 to the over. Maybe the over. Do we even take the over here today? Obviously, because of my rules, I don't mess with my rules. You either keep going with Sacramento or you take the over. That's my take on that. I like Sac. Am I missing something? Well, it's just, you're not missing nothing, Demetrius. It's just that teams can't win and cover forever, right? But I do. I do like Sacramento tonight. But I think the over. What did I say? The over might be a better play. What's the Kogo at? 30%. Crap. 30%. That means a 70% chance on the percentage play going back to the under. But the Sixers on a 4-over streak, right? And when we looked at our streaks right here, look at the streaks. 4 overs, 6. So let's say, 4 overs, not a lot. The percentage decreases when you want to keep going to those streaks, right? Soccer ain't bad bet. Tricky spot, 100% tricky spot. 2-0 for the over for the Sixers on the road against a B-type team. Now, Sacramento on the year, 12-11, 13-10 against the number, 14-9 to the over. And Sixers, Sixers are a bit Jekyll and Hyde, right? 6-5 on the road, 11-2 at home, 5-6 against the spread on the road, 5-6 to the under. Now they're coming off a win, and let me see here. As a road favorite, they're 4-3 this year, and as a home underdog, Buddy Buckets and company 3-6. But giving up, look at this. That's a lot of points to give up as a home underdog. 124 points against. They're averaging 100. Like Sacramento's playing their best basketball of the year, right? So you just got to keep riding it. If you play this game, it's Sacramento in the over, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. What do you think, guys? So this is interesting. At home since 1996, anytime they're playing an opponent, or actually, no, last 3 years. Has to be last year. It can't be this year. Or maybe it's not this year. 9-6 and against an opponent that's 71 to 80% win percentage. I'll have to check. I think that's the last 3 years, not since 96. Yeah, no, I think the over, a lot of indicators pointing towards the over. When the totals, any NBA home team this year, oh yeah, the total's 230. So I got to fix that. Let me see. Yeah, so I think the over it is. Yeah. All right, let's get on to the next one. And the next game on deck, we got Orlando, Portland. Now, Damian Lillard didn't look right on Saturday against the Knicks. It looked like he had like a hip issue. He kept fixing, massaging his hip. Hopefully he's good to go. Let me see. What's his status tonight? Oh, it looks like he's good. Lillard abdomen, is listed on Portland's injury report for Tuesday. Isn't listed on Portland's injury. So keep an eye out on Lillard. You just got a feeling that this could be a game time decision, but it's not written here, right? So Zach Collins is out. You got Little out, McCollum. When is CJ going to be back? CJ's been out quite a while here, since January 18th. Yeah, can't wait to see. Portland, if they make the playoffs, they could be an interesting factor here. They'd probably be my long shot in the Western, I gave Atlanta. But now going into the night's game, I just want to make sure I got the right number here. Let me see. Orlando 6. I'm seeing 6 and 220, and we have 5.5 and 219.5. So we're right there in the ballpark with our line. We get bet. I think we use Bet365 for our line. We got 111 to 106 tonight for Portland. Over under at 218. Now Orlando, ever since they've Fultz, right? Fultz. Ever since Fultz has been out, they've been searching. 3-7 straight up. They had one good game against the Chicago Bulls on Friday night, and then they lost to the Bulls on Saturday, 118 to 92. So they've been off for 2 days here, 2 or 3 days, 2 days rest. And looking at their last couple of games, when was the last time they were on the road? So they played the Raptors. Actually, they were still in state, right? So it's Tampa Bay. The Raptors are playing in Tampa Bay. So they've been having a lot of home cooking here. Only one, they haven't left the state since January 22nd. So Portland tonight, after a long road trip. Look at this. Portland been on the road for 6 straight games here. This is their first home game since January 25th when they lost to the Thunder 125-122. And then the night before that, they beat the Knicks 116 to 113. Now, Portland at home this year, 5-5, 2-8 against the number. That scares me a bit here. Portland do better on the road. So this tells me that the bookmaker inflates the numbers for Portland at home, maybe not inflate them, but they just can't cover the bookmaker's number at home. So they're maybe a bit overvalued when they are at home, and they're 5.5 tonight. What's my line? See, my line on this game was plus 1.58. So maybe, let's say if I round it off to like -1, I think Portland's overvalued, and I had 7.2 for the Orlando Magic, so they're undervalued as well. 77% chance on the rain report based on 32 previous games in the database on when Portland's been a home favorite. The total's been a certain range, so that's where we get the forecast from. The chance of covering does favor Orlando. I think Orlando, guys, might be the play here tonight, but I think I like the under better. This is one of my premium picks here tonight, guys. I got 3 premium picks here at ATS. I just gave you 2 of them here today on the rain report. All right, so let's take a look at Orlando on the road, 4-7, 5-6 against the number, 7-3-1 to the over. So they tend to play more games to go over the total. But again, Portland at home don't do well covering the spread. And looking at, let me see here, some of the numbers. Nothing really. Orlando has Golden State on deck. Portland got Philly on deck. Are they traveling to? No, they got them at home. Okay, they got Philly at home. So maybe a look ahead situation here for the Portland Trailblazers. They're 5-4 as a home favorite, averaging 113 to 115. And again, the total on this game I said was 220, right? So I do like the under in this game here tonight, guys. What do you guys like? Home after a long road trip. Yeah, they want to see their families and chill. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. After long road trips, I always remember LeBron James last year or a couple of years ago. You just, when he first got to LA, he just thought those East Coast road trips were so long. And when you're a Western team and you're going to play in the East Coast, you're gone for like 7 to 10 days. And those are long. If you're a family man or, or you just, you're a homebody, being away, living in a hotel, it wears on you after like a couple of days, right? So being at home, we'll see. We'll see what kind of game they're going to give out here tonight. I'm going to take a look here at some of the factors. So here in the rain report, guys, if you scroll down the middle, we give you the market conditions. So Portland here as a home favorite, covering only 44% of the games have gone over. So 66% go under, only covering 22% as a home dog. Yeah. So I do like the under though. I do like the under here tonight. Let me check here. Not a lot of stats to point out. 8-2. So Orlando 8-2 in the last 3 years. So let me take a look at here. So when Orlando travels to Portland, they're only 2-8, 5-4-1 against the number, 6-4 to the over. What did I see here though? 8-2 to the over in the last 3 years. So 8-2 to the over, right? But what goes up must come down. Sticking to the under. I do like the under here tonight, guys. If Portland take the night off, take the 6. Brooklyn over. Kings dog of the day. Yeah, you know what? It's hard to argue with that. 8 ATS wins. All right, the game of the night. Any Boston Celtic fans out there? Let's take a look at this one. Boston taking on the Utah Jazz. Now, the Jazz go into this game as a 5.5-point favorite. Just going to always have to double check here. 220 is the number. And looking at the total, we have it 109 to 106 favoring Utah. So they're only winning by 3, but the spread is 5.5. So we have Boston covering. 215 is our total. So we do like it under the total here on the computer report. 4-6 straight up in their last 10 to Celtics, 5-5 against the number, 5-5 to the over-under, where Utah, who wants to bet against Utah these days? 9-1 straight up, 9-1 against the number. I had them on the Super Bowl Sunday against the Pacers. Their line tonight, guys, I had them minus 8.7. I have Boston at minus 2.2. So you're getting value on both these teams. 73% chance of winning for Utah compared to 34 for the Celtics. Only a 13% chance of covering. That's based on the law of average. 53% chance of this game going over the total. 4 straight up wins against the spread. It's hard to go against Utah. Look at this number here. 18-6 against the number. Again, Utah, to me, it's like poker. Let it ride. You just got to keep letting it ride. 9-2 against the spread. And Boston, like I said, the last 30 days, the Boston Celtics, if I go look at my stats that I where did I have that stat? Where's Boston here? In the last 30 days, 5-7 straight up, 6-6 against the number in the last 30 days. 6-8 on the road against the spread, 7-7. And in the lineup tonight for the Boston Celtics, let me see who's in the lineup here. Kemba Walker, you got Jaylen Brown's a game time decision. Tatum, Williams, Thompson. Let me see here. Jaylen Brown, Langford, Marcus Smart still out. What's calf, right? So he's got a calf injury. With Marcus Smart in the lineup, it brings a bit of grit, right? They play a little bit tougher. Donovan Mitchell, Inglis, Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal, Gobert. How do you go against Utah, right? I think Utah here is the play again. What do you guys think? Utah to cover. Yep, I do like Utah. It's 18-6 against the number. This once a team finds a way to cover, they just cover. It's like Milwaukee in the over, right? You bet it until the trend fades you, right? You bet it until it tells you different. That's what I think. Let me tell you, Utah on 1 day's rest as a 3.5 to 6 point home favorite, 3-0, of course. They're covering everything, so why wouldn't they? But okay, this here, guys, I missed this. This is very important. Utah has Milwaukee on deck. That is huge. That to me, that's a big, that's a big look ahead situation where Boston plays Toronto. That's who cares about that, yeah, that's a big problem right there. Milwaukee on deck, but you got Boston. Boston, you can't sneeze at Boston. If Boston's a top team, right? Looking at what's their record right now, 12-10. They're not one of the top teams right now, but they're still a B neutral type team. They're 4-1 to the over on the road against 8 type teams, but that's a big problem right here. Milwaukee on deck. What do you think? Utah money line? You know what? I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. What's the difference between laying 170 in baseball and 170 in basketball, right? Like I played Chicago Bulls on the money line. It was my top play last night, but unfortunately Bradley Beal and the Washington Wizards had something to say about it. But you know what? Good point, Nenox. I like that. That's why I took the money line. Yeah, I agree. I do like the money line here. So Boston, but let's make a case for Boston here. How do we make a case for the Boston Celtics? Let's take a look at Boston in the last couple of games. This is what I like to do when I look at a handicapping. I treat it like a trial, right? Let's make a case for this team. Boston, that was a horrible game, but they played the Clippers. That was off an emotional win against the Clippers. Then they lost to the hottest team in the NBA right now, the Kings. Then they played the Warriors. Look at who Boston played. What's their strength of schedule? Must be in the 60s. Yeah, look at this. Boston is battle tested tonight. See, the thing is, when you start looking at games really more in depth, I heard this great expression once. If it doesn't come out in the wash, comes out in the rinse. And right now we're going through the rinse cycle. And I'm thinking we're seeing, you got the Milwaukee game on deck. You got the Boston strength of schedule. Boston, played awful, absolutely awful against the Phoenix Suns. Man, it's tough to, you're making a case here for the Boston, but again, look at Utah though, right? Utah 18-6 against the number, 19-5, the best team in basketball. I think they got the best record in the NBA right now at 19-5. Let me take a look at the standings here. I printed them out right before we went to air. So Boston 19-5. So 19-6, the Lakers. So the Lakers and the Utah Jazz, the two best teams. Again, all I'm going to say is I'm not touching this game. I've already got my 3 premium picks up, but be careful on this game, guys. Utah, Milwaukee on deck, and Boston battle tested. Look at their strength of schedule the last 7 games, and they're coming off an embarrassing loss to the Suns, right? So I'm looking for a bigger Boston production here tonight. We'll see. All right, before I wrap it up here for NBA and go to NHL, I can't believe it's 3 o'clock already and we're already haven't even touched the NHL yet. Let's go to the NHL. Let's see what's on deck here for the so this game was canceled. I don't know what happened. It must be COVID. Let's go to Edmonton and Ottawa. Last night, the Ottawa Center, somebody asked me on the puck line, right? These Sens, they're a tough team to play some nights, but they're not a good team. They're not a really good team right now. Last night, the first period full of fights. I don't get that. Edmonton's the play. If you're playing this game here tonight, Ottawa, 1-9 in the last 10, 2-8 on the puck line, 3-7 to the under. The last 4 games have gone under the total. I think Edmonton's the play here. I don't even think it's worth debating anymore. What do you think? Montreal, Ottawa's got Winnipeg on deck, and Edmonton's got Montreal. So a bit of a look-ahead situation here. And Montreal's playing Toronto tomorrow night. So I can't wait till tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is some good games, but we do have some good games here tonight. But I think Edmonton is the play for here tonight. Now, Florida, Detroit. We talked about the Florida Panthers, right? And let me check my my site for the goalies. So it looks like tonight you got Thomas Grice up against Bobrovsky tonight, right? So Bobrovsky's going to be in nets. I don't know who was in nets last night for Florida. If anybody knows, just throw it in the chat. They don't want to be pushed around. That's why they fight. Yeah, you know what? I think Cassian got, they said that him and the coach got not into it, but I think he got talked to, and I think he needed to, earn his money type thing and go out there and provide a spark last night. It's just, that was a useless fight. You sound disgusted. I sound disgusted with the Sens. Edmonton, but Ottawa played harder. Yeah, I am disgusted because Ottawa is just, it's my team, but it's just, they got to spend money. Go get some players. You know what I mean? You can't be the New Jersey Devils and play the left wing lock all game. Spend some money. Go get some help for Kachuk. And get, Shabbat. You got to get some. Yeah, Stutzel's going to be a good player, but yeah, I am disgusted. That's funny. You sound disgusted. Yeah. All right, Florida and Detroit. Now, we talked about this Detroit-Florida team, right? All their games are 1-goal games. If you look at their 9 games, 7 of them are 1-goal games. Now, they caught up to them last night, 4-1. That's funny. 4-1. And then you look at the Red Wings. Now, the Red Wings are battle-tested. They played the Lightning twice. They had a better second game than the first one. Then, when you play the Lightning, and the thing is, if this was regular season, when you're going to Tampa Bay, it's really tough because of the weather, right? But Detroit, 4-1 winners against the last night. But I think Florida gets the job here done tonight. Looking at Detroit on the road, 1-6. They're 5-5 in their last 10 against the Panthers in Florida. Florida's 8-2 in their last 10, playing on 1 day's rest. So I think Florida is the play here tonight, guys. But I'm not laying 213. I'm not. Rather got to invest in that team. But we're getting to that 20 game mark where eventually you're going to start seeing upsets, right? I'm starting to see the upsets come in. The favorites in hockey will always win the first 10 games, but then you got to start taking a chance on the underdogs. Like I did, I took Nashville, I took Columbus yesterday, right? And that's why I think you got to start watching out for underdogs. Chicago, Dallas. I think Dallas is my premium pick. It's my top play tonight. The Dallas Stars are my top play. Hopefully Radulov will be in the lineup. Let me just check my my sources here. I love Radulov when he was in Montreal. This guy's a typical sandbagger, right? This guy's he's a rink rat. Radulov is a rink rat. He's the guy you want on your team. He just loves hockey. He loves playing hockey. And they got Oettinger back in nets tonight. I thought I saw Hudobin, but Ottinger's back in nets. That's okay. I still like him tonight. Let me see here. Radulov's still out. Crap. That's okay. Lower body. Don't you love those lower bodies, eh? It's too bad. Give me Dallas tonight. I know the price is a bit expensive, $152, but I do like Dallas tonight. Chicago to win, Chad. Chicago on a 2-game win streak. Watch out, eh? But Dallas, they're went to the Stanley Cup. They're the type of teams, and Jamie Benn, great captain. I love what he did last game. He threw them down. I think Dallas is going to force tonight to play, and I think Dallas is the play. I think Dallas 4-1 at home. Chicago played well last game. Let's be honest. Chicago Blackhawks played well. They overachieve, I think, and I think Dallas wins tonight 4-2. Give me the Dallas Stars. Top shelf play of the night, right? The Dallas Stars. In fact, let me take a look at some of the stats here. Starting to lose my voice here. Yeah, Dallas always good at home, eh, Enox? Chicago 1-6 as a road underdog, 0-5 before a non-division game. Chicago, Dallas 4-1 when the total is 5.5 at home. Weekday games, 4-1 as a home favorite. Obviously, not a lot of. So here's another thing I like. Home teams in the NHL this year coming off a 2-game losing streak, 15-6 straight up. Yeah, give me some of that. Give me a lot of that. Tampa Bay, the streak continues. So I like Dallas here tonight, guys. Let's go to the next game. Tampa Bay, Nashville. Now, Nashville played the Tampa Bay last night. They won 4-1. Looking at this game now, the Preds the Lightning are 172 favorite, over under 5.5. And let me see who's in nets here tonight for the Nashville. Yeah, Picarene is going to be in nets tonight, I think, for Nashville. Picarene and Vasilevsky. Vazi. It's kind of funny. When I went to a Tampa Bay game about 2 years ago, we had a diehard Tampa Bay Lightning fan in front of me, and he has a Vasilevsky shirt, and he'd cheer up the crowd. He'd yell, Vazi, and they'd all go, oi, 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 Vazi, oi, Vazi, oi, oi, oi. I thought it was pretty funny, cheer up the crowd using the goalie's name, so I thought that was pretty cool. Tampa Bay here, we have them winning here tonight, 3.5 to 2.3, over under at 5.5. 8-2 in the last 10. Tampa Bay, 5-game win streak. They're a tough team. For Nashville, 5-5 in the last 10, 3-7 straight up. Again, I don't think that Tampa Bay can win forever. They won last night. I'm going back to Nashville. My betting strategy in this 2-game series was if Nashville won yesterday, then I would bet them again today with house money. And if they lost yesterday, if you win today, you win a bit, but hopefully you get some of that money back, right? So I'm going back to Nashville tonight using that strategy. Can't always take the chalk, right? You can't keep a big tall glass of milk by the computer and just eat and drink chalk all day. You gotta take some dogs once in a while. Get off the chalk, boys and girls. Looking at some of the records here. Tampa Bay 2-2 on the road, 1-3 to the under, and Nashville still, they're still a good home team, 4-2, and hopefully they get the job done tonight. But I do like the Nashville Predators tonight, guys, against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and hopefully they can get the job done. Home teams, though, look at this. Home teams this year coming off a 3-goal loss, 9-1 straight up in their next game. Let's go top shelf. Let's go where they keep the peanut butter, and let's take Nashville to win tonight. Anaheim, Vegas. Seems like Vegas only plays like once a week. Is it just me? When does Vegas ever play? Like since January 26th, they played 2 games. It seems like forever. Looking at tonight's game, we got Vegas, a -227 favorite. That's a big chalk right there. But Anaheim, it's like a soccer team on ice. They're like Minnesota right now. Let me see what's their goals. In the last 10 games, they're 4-6. I want to see how much goals they're scoring in the last couple of games here. In the last 5 games, averaging 2.2 goals for, 2.3. The thing with Anaheim, they play good defense. They get some good. Who's going to be in nets tonight? So let me see who's in nets tonight for Anaheim. And it looks like it's going to be John Gibson against Marc-Andre Fleury. Flower. Good to see the Flower back in between the pipes there tonight in Vegas. The value, we had -214, 227. So if overvalued, if you like Anaheim, we had them at +150. It's 185. So you're getting value on the Ducks. Again, you can't fall in love with chalk, right? Anaheim, Vegas at home against teams below 500, 4-0 straight up. So you never like to go against that type of streak. 7-2 on the year, 6-1 at home. Maybe the under is the play here tonight, guys. I don't think I'm going to touch the side. If I had to play the side, obviously I think I'd take Vegas, but I think the under, if you're going to play this game, I think under is where you want to go. Ducks have more to play for. Yeah, they got to get back in the, keep winning, right? They're coming off a win over San Jose. But if you look at the last 5 games, 2-3, 4-6 in the last 10. But Vegas, to me, how do you weigh the performance of a team versus the number? What do you mean, Demetrius? So how do you weigh performance off a team versus the number, or does the trends matter? No, trends don't matter. It's based on past results. Past results, depending on what the line is. I always say history is your greatest teacher, right? And what you do is you go get the past performances, and what the thing is, once you go to the past performance, you're not really getting the results. You're getting the bookmaker's mindset on what he put the line in that day with the total. And that's why, if that's what you mean, versus the number. If that's what you're talking about, Demetrius, like you're talking about the DMVI, the Daily Market Value Index, that's or the chances of winning, or the Kogo. I don't know what you're talking about there. Ducks have more to play for. Knights cruising top 3. 2 good goalies. Yes, 2 good goalies. Gibson, and the Flower. But, Flower is getting, when the Bears, the board got to Vegas, he pissed off Flower by benching him, putting Leonard first. But, when you look back, maybe he's helping him wear and tear, right? But, it's like it's any player. Players want to play. Nobody, and, you're taking a Stanley Cup winning goalie and you're putting him in as a backup. And I don't think Leonard, Leonard was here in Ottawa. He was in Chicago, so he's been around a few places, right? But I think Flower is the best guy. Yeah, so hopefully I answered that question for you, Demetrius. All right, let's go to the next game. Let's go Vegas. We got Calgary, Winnipeg. Now, this was a tough game to handicap. This is a tough one here. Well, just out of curiosity, before I handicap it, who do you guys like in this one, the Jets or the Flames? Now, looking at the line, 132. I'm just going to double check my line here. Calgary minus, let me see here. We're going to go in the money line. So we got Calgary minus 130. Yeah, 5.5. All right. So who do you guys, plus 190 is juicy. Yeah. So we got 2.97 for Winnipeg, 2.72. Now, keep in mind, the computer pick in NHL is hitting 62%. So sometimes when I'm stuck, I'll go to the computer to tip me the other way. Looking at this game here, guys, I'm leaning towards the Jets here tonight, and I'll tell you why. Looking at both teams, in the last 10 games, obviously 6-4, 5-5. The chance of winning does favor Calgary at 61%. Now, Winnipeg's on a 2-game win streak. The Calgary Flames coming off a win over Edmonton, the Battle of Alberta Saturday night, 6-4. And Winnipeg, they haven't played in 4 games in 4 days. They're ready. They're ready to go tonight. They're rested. They just finished playing 4 straight games against Calgary. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Actually, 3 straight games. They beat them 4-3. Actually, no, the first game, the Calgary won 4-3. Then they beat them 3-2 and 4-1, right? Where Calgary played the Oilers. They played the Jets 3 times. Then the Habs, they won 2-0 against the Habs at home and then in Montreal. And then they lost 4-2. But looking at this game here, Winnipeg 2-1 on the road, Calgary 3-2. And in the last 10 games, even though Winnipeg has not had a lot of success in Calgary, Calgary's only 4-6 in the last 10 against the Flames. Looking at the goalies tonight, Hellebuck against, let me see here, Jacob Markstrom, right? So I do like, the thing I like the most is the value. I think we're getting good value here tonight. We're getting plus 110. And Calgary, funny team. When they're on, but when they're off, they're off. I find they have some of these periods where they look like world beaters, and then there's periods that look like an AHL team. But I do like the Calgary Winnipeg Jets tonight. I like them. I like them tonight. I like Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg's the play here tonight, and that's what I'm playing. Who do you guys like? Come out firing. Look at Dallas and the Knights. Overtime. I hope this is not overtime. I hate overtime when I got a big bet on that game. All right, let's go to the next game. San Jose against LA. Now, I got an interesting stat on the goalie stat here. It looks like it's going to be Martin Jones. Martin Jones looks like he's going to get the nod here for the San Jose Sharks. Martin Jones against LA, 13-4 lifetime. 13-4 lifetime against the LA Kings. Now, the Kings going to this one as a home underdog. 125 is the price here for San Jose. And the computer pick, look at this, 3.23, 3.22. I do like San Jose here tonight. That goalie stat, 13-4. Martin Jones absolutely owns them. The Kings, looking at their record on the year, 3-8, 1-4 at home, where San Jose 4-6. And give me San Jose here tonight. 8-2 in their last 10 trips to Staples Center. And but if you like the under, look at the under. 1-8-1 in the last 10 games between these two teams. But the over is 8-3 for the Kings this year. Kings don't play much defense, right? If you look at their last couple of games here, so let's go to the last 3 games, giving up 4 goals against, 3.6, and let's go down here. Let's go first division opponent, giving up 4 goals. So giving up a lot of goals against here. Looking at the lineup here for San Jose, Couture, LeBron Burns. Yeah, San Jose too. San Jose is not playing great defense, but I like their scoring power better. Yeah, give me San Jose tonight. I think the difference between the pipes, and I think that's where you want to lean here tonight, guys. All right. Any questions before we head out there today, guys? An hour 20 minutes. Try to keep these under an hour, but we get so caught up in these basketball games, right? All right, guys. So, don't forget, make your picks at hockeypicks.com. If you go to hockeypicks.com, my handle is Ronnie Ray, and here, I'll put it down here. Check out. My handle is Ronnie Ray. I posted my picks at hockeypicks.com. You can get my selections there. And streetcatcher.com, I'll have my top play. My handle there is Ronnie Ray. So if you go to streetcatcher.com, that's where some of the hottest, you ride the hottest guys, right? The top picker right now is on a 5-game win streak. So the more people we get playing at Streetcatcher, the more we have an opportunity of people getting on a hot streak. So streetcatcher.com, make one pick a day. And hopefully we can get some guys streaking over there at Streetcatcher. All right, guys, before I go, any questions? Wish everybody good luck with your plays tonight. And again, thanks to everybody for tuning in to the Raymond Report. Hopefully we can keep this going and get you guys some more winners each and every day. What was the pick for Dallas? Chicago? Dallas. I like Dallas. I do like Dallas tonight. Actually, Dallas is my top play. Thanks, Ron. I like what you do. Like the video, guys. Helps Ron out. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Demetrius. All right, guys. Have yourself a great rest of your day. And we'll catch you back here on the flip side tomorrow. Cheers.